Right, history of packaging. Packaging is really just a time capsule of our being. What we consider a package, something that holds, protects, and stores its contents, occurs naturally, as in the protective covering of a banana or the cocoon of a butterfly and an oyster. All these perform functions of a package. Humankind's creative curiosity has led to the adoption of many of nature's examples. In 100 BC, the Chinese used sheets of treated mulberry bark to wrap food. Containers made from clay, shells, animal skins, and leaves function as they did in nature. As societies and cultures grew, communication and clarity became important. Therefore, icons and words began to grace the surface of containers. Evolving over time from basic utility to marketing vehicle, the simple package has become more complex. It still functions, of course, but now it's made from a host of high-tech materials and has taken on unconventional forms and shapes. It features delivery systems such as pull tops, self-cooling devices, biodegradable inks, and date codes that change color when expired. All of these innovations improve and expand the functionality of the package while giving the manufacturer an edge over its competition. Even the term packaging has evolved. From package, meaning a container, to packaging, a container that has written communication about specific contents. This transformation occurred in the 19th century and segued into the development of brands. Branding has grown to become the most important marketing tool, with packaging as its most ardent companion. The evolution of packaging has played an important role in the advancement of human. Today, many of us take for granted how products are brought to the shelf and how they are manufactured and packaged to protect against damage or spoilage. We now live in a society that looks beyond the function aspects of packaging to how it makes one feel, look, and speak. Image has become the driving force behind packaging and branding. From utilitarian function to emotional billboard, the package now serves two masters. It hosts the brand and it entices the potential buyer through inviting graphics and entertaining visuals. The functional qualities of packaging are seen through distinctive delivery systems of convenience and portability. Packages must keep up with consumers' changing lifestyles. In today's market, we could broaden our definition to packaging to include packaging of entire brands and not just specific products. Leading companies such as Target, Nike, Whole Foods, and Starbucks are brands whose packaging extends to the entire retail experience. For them, the idea of packaging goes beyond the container to the total package of the store. This is a real brand experience, and it is the packaging of this brand experience that allows us to become enchanted and entertained. Consumers connect on a whole new level with the complete concept of packaging. So do you remember the question that we had? That's what this relates back to. From the curiosity and the creative spirit have made us challenge and improve our quality of life. Early quests to explore the world created a demand for good. Trade routes brought spices, silks, scents, teas, coffees, wine, and chocolate, all of which had to be carried long distances. Economies grew and societies flourished based on the ability to transport goods around the world. This led to the establishment of monetary systems giving value to products and services. The Egyptians developed glass and gave us the first glass jars. Centuries later, glass-making techniques became a closely guarded Venetian trade secret. By the early 1600s, trade and commerce defined economies and ranked societies by their ability to manufacture, distribute, and store goods. Packaging played a pivotal role in the balance of power within Europe. Packaging as early as the 16th century shows that containers, bottles, and boxes were used to give a higher perceived value to all kinds of products. In 1795, the Napoleonic government of France announced it would give a prize of 12,000 francs, or about 2,500, to whomever could develop a way of preserving food for long periods of time. To accomplish this would give France a military advantage by giving the troops the ability to move quickly into new territory without the worry of food preparation. Nicolas Appert worked on developing an airtight seal on a glass jar, perfected it by 1810, and was granted a patent in that same year. However, in England, a patent was granted for the tin can, which also preserved food in an airtight container. The English had mobility in addition to preservation of food, and so they defeated Napoleon at Waterloo. Time and again, the transportation of storage of food became strategic advantage among nations. Tin cans were used in the U.S. Civil War before they were available to the public. And they ultimately allowed the population to urbanize. Once again, packages changed society. The Industrial Revolution of the 19th century brought with it the mass movement of people from farms to cities. People left their small communities where they knew their neighbors and their local grocers for large, unfamiliar cities. They also left behind their farming jobs, replacing them with wage-earning factory work. This created an environment in which packaging could flourish. Along with packaging came the rise in popularity of brands like Borden, Quaker, Campbell's, and Coca-Cola. Early advertising played a role in giving these brands personality and ensuring the public of their fresh, sterile, germ-free qualities. This resulted in a trust that could not be matched with the dirty and unsanitary store environments of the 1800s. The can, bottle, and box adorned with memorable graphics were recognizable icons of trust and safety. In 1858, New York had a massive milk contamination problem from cows too close to the city. Gail Borden was not affected because his cows were over 100 miles away. Borden's dairy canned condensed milk products could be shipped easily and kept fresh without refrigeration. Most of all, it was seen as safe, and Borden was quick to see an opportunity, and so it positioned his product as clean and pure. Consumers came to trust his product, feeling they were much safer than fresh milk. So that brand's been around forever because of that. Events like these caused consumer confidence to turn to packaged products for reasons of trust and quality. A huge demand fueled innovation. One invention that had a huge impact, especially on the popularity of all kinds of canned goods, was the creation of the can opener in 1865. It was at this time that canned goods sales soared. History continues. In the late 1800s, saw advances in automation, printing, transportation, and materials, allowing packaged goods to be offered to all economic groups and shipped around the world. Technology enabled mass production to grow the price and the prices of goods to decrease, triggering the beginning of a consuming, disposable society. It was then that the word consumer was coined. Henry Parsons Crowell, founder of the Quaker Oats factory, was one of the first to use what we view now as modern marketing methods. Like marketers today, he assessed the environment and the potential consumer. He looked at what was deemed successful at the time, primarily patent medicine container adorned with figures of doctors, which gave buyers a sense of trust. He also heard of the bronze statue of William Penn being placed atop Philadelphia City Hall. Crowell's Quaker figure was quite possibly inspired by these examples, along with images drawn from the Quaker faith. His packaging also featured the word pure, which addressed the food safety concerns of the period. What made Quaker unique was Crowell's intuitive understanding of marketing, specifically the power of branding, which he consistently implemented throughout his campaigns. Crowell also created desire by developing advertising that said, "Is this worth trying?" He also ran editorial stories that spoke of the health qualities of his product. To create demand, he went about the country giving away small boxes of the product. On the back of the package, he printed recipes and emphasized ease of preparation. He used the Quaker image on everything from packages to billboards to advertising. In all, he developed an integrated branding and marketing program that's still valid in today's marketplace. A significant shift occurred in retail in the early 20th century. A change in the grocer's role as product gatekeeper. Before this time, consumers purchased goods at a counter behind which the grocery store clerk stood. The buyer told the grocer what she wanted, and he would hand it to her. This gave little opportunity for consumers to involve themselves with the package prior to purchase. The development of self-serve grocery stores changed all of that. New grocery stores had aisles where consumers selected at will what they wanted. They could pick up products and interact with them before the purchase. This revolution allowed brands to compete unobstructed with the consumer. It also created an environment where a variety of competitive products were shelved next to each other. Packaging now became the silent salesman competing for consumer attention. It also created the environment where a variety of competitive products were shelved next to each other. Packaging now becomes the silent. Oh, I said that already, didn't I? I did. Anyway, it also added barcodes and recycle symbols. The role of packaging evolved into a vital marketing tool in selling the products. This eventually created ancillary industries with consumer research, branding, industrial design, and graphic design all becoming well-established commercial professions. Today, increased competition within matured retail markets has resulted in advances in marketing strategy, behavioral science, structural materials, and creative design combined with innovative technology to offer us a world of ever-changing retail experiences. Brands evolve and differentiate to create choice. On cluttered shelves with lots of commodity products, the package serves as the lone tangible element to position and differentiate a brand and a product from its competitors. It also plays an important role as the final communication device before purchase. Advertising creates awareness of and desire for the product. But once the consumer is standing in the aisle, he's tempted by the many similar products vying for his attention without the package. The product is indistinguishable from its competitors. The two piles of cornflakes pictured here are from two different manufacturers, but who can tell which is which? If one is selling for more money, the package must convince the buyer that the product's worth the extra cost. Packaging and the image it carries serve as that motivator. It's at this point that branding plays an important part of the choice. It helps consumers make decisions by saying, "Trust me, you know me, you always have had great results with me, use me again." In the late 1950s, retail environments were changing with the introduction of supermarkets, giving rise to an explosion of new products, cluttering the marketplace and causing the science of branding to grow into a well-established industry. The psychology of consumer behavior, buying habits, and product loyalties were studied and analyzed, giving marketers and designers new insights into what drives a purchase. Terms such as brand personality and brand essence were used to explain new methodologies and disciplines that were adopted. This made way for branding and packaging to weave itself into the cultural landscape of society. Coca-Cola is a good example. Its early ad campaign is credited with creating the current look of Santa Claus, while its bottle is one of the most recognizable shapes in the world. Today, the Coca-Cola brand is valued at $68 billion and is worth much more than its many manufacturing plants. Population growth from baby boomers and the expansive growth of urban sprawl made supermarkets the retail location of choice for consumers. The new stores offered thousands of products in wide, brightly lit aisles. Marketers were challenged to make their products jump off the shelf. Innovations such as freeze-dried food, aluminum pouches, frozen TV dinners, and plastic bottles allowed products to have a longer shelf life and provided convenience to the consumers. Designers made advances in structural styles, typography, and the printing process. A brand's point of difference, positioning, and personality became distinguishable attributes through the use of unique typography, color, and graphic elements. We saw a rise in character personalities used to represent or endorse the brand. Betty Crocker, Uncle Ben, Mr. Clean, the Jolly Green Giant, and Tony the Tiger all gave consumers the comfort of a personality representing the product. The human condition is strong. That's where we're going to stop today.